greenhouse type thing and steps on plants.
Right.
And the kids start freaking out. They're like, "Oh shit! You shouldn't have done that. Did you see the white fence?" And Wesley's like, "Whatever." Like, which is also like, I mean, like you just broke something. Like you should feel more bad than you do.
Right.
He was just like, "Oh, whatever. I caught the ball," and I'm like.
Yeah. You are arrogant.
Yeah, seriously, it's like, oh, whatever, they shouldn't have gotten him away.
Yeah, I'm a sports hero.
What about the fuck? I don't need anything else. And so immediately, like, some dudes show up, and they're like, what the fuck happened here? And he's like, oh, it's an accident. He's like, oh, so you confessed? And he's like, yeah, I mean, I caught the ball, though. Huh?
Yeah. Huh?
And the kids are like, they didn't know, it wasn't his fault, he doesn't know the rules here. And then the crew shows up and like, what the fuck happened here? And like, this motherfucker broke one of the laws and now he's going to die.
And they've got a syringe full of death poison.
And they're like, we can't do this. And so they get to Picard. They tell him what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Crusher finds out. He's like, oh, my boy's been sentenced to death.
Right. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but before this, as they're cutting back and forth between the planet and the ship, this thing materializes like this giant ship outside the window.
That's right, yeah.
And sends in this weird blue sphere that like
connects with
Data.
Yeah, and like knocks him out.
Right.
And so they tell so that's going on. They tell Picard this, and he's like, I ain't got no time for that shit. And they're like,
you might need to make some time. Clear your schedule. And
so at one point, Crusher's like, hey, I need to talk to you about this. And Picard's like, not right now. And she's like, bullshit, not right now. It's my fucking son, dude. And Picard's like, look, I'm not going to let him die, okay? It's all cool.
I got a plan.
Everything's cool.
Everything's fine.
Nothing is fucked. And so he's, unlike Captain Kirk, he's like, we got the Prime Directive, and that's something not to be fucked with.
Yeah. He respects the Prime Directive.
He's like, I can't just dip out because of the Prime Directive, but I also don't want to let this boy die over some bullshit.
Right. I can't let him die.
And there are people on the planet like, oh, so you're just going to come in here, fucking trample all over our plants and our traditions?
Right.
Like,
fuck our people.
You're going to come over here and literally trample on our plants and metaphorically trample on our traditions and then just dip out? That's justice to you?
You think you're better than us?
And
right.
And so they figure out that this giant ship is their god.
Right. They bring up the girl.
Yeah.
The main girl whose name escapes me at the moment.
At one point she they asked to bring someone up, and because Wesley's staying down on the planet, she's like.
She's the hostage.
Yeah, she'll go. I was like, I'll go as your hostage. And Car's like, nah, it's not like that, homegirl. It's not like that at all.
A visitor.
Like we need to get this figured out.
Right.
And so they figured out that it's God, and
you know, as they're wont to do on Star Trek.
And so what Picard has to do is kind of
Kirk it.
Yeah. Essentially, he has to kind of. With the Prime Directive.
Yeah, well, he basically, at the trial or whatever the last moment, you know, he makes an appeal straight to Ito, is that the name of the god? It says for justice to work, there have to be exceptions, which I don't really buy. I don't know. I don't think that logic is just like, aha, you got him in a trap. But that's essentially what he says is like, you know, there have to be exceptions. This isn't justice. You know, real justice is listening to the case. I guess it is justice. Real justice is listening to the case and making a decision based on the facts at hand.
I learned what justice is from Batman.
Okay.
So reading a Batman comic book.
Okay.
And this was a flashback to like when he was jaunting around the world, attending colleges and doing whatever, and he's
getting ready to begin Batmaning?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like in a college class, and the professor says something like,
"What is true fear?"
What is true fear? And Batman's like, a giant fucking bat. And the dude's like, correct. Yeah, how'd you know that?
Next question.
Next question for this oral exam. No, he says, let's say that there are two boys, two young men driving in a car. And they're driving and they're being reckless or whatever, and when the driver isn't paying attention, and let's say there's a little boy riding his bike and he hits the boy on the bike and the little boy dies, would they both be at fault? And Bruce Wayne's like, no, just the driver. And he's like, that's not right. You know, the passenger would also be at fault, or he would also be tried for something. And he's like, you know, like, but is that fair? Is that justice? And he's like, no, Mr. Wayne, that's the law. And so I was like, oh, so justice is like doing what's right, and the law is bullshit. I gotcha. I gotcha, Batman. I gotcha, Denny O'Neil.
The law is an attempt to codify morality, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Is it codify or codify? I think it's codify.
I think it's Codify?
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 Write in and send us wave files of you pronouncing
We'll download them and hear them.
Yes.
And so yeah, so the Ito's like, all right, well, it doesn't say anything.
But they're able to beam
Yeah,
out.
so
He was blocking them.
Yeah, and so they get to dip out, you know, and leave.
Which is fine. I was kind of expecting Picard to offer himself in their place, and Ito to be so moved by that sacrifice that then he would let him go. But the logic argument is very Trek.
Yep.
So I liked it.
You want to talk about the power of perception? I mentioned
okay.
that I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about it with regard to Superman, or with disregard to?
Let's hold off.
Okay.
Let's hold off for the Superman talk. We're going to record that right after this.
But you won't hear it.
But you won't hear it till next week. We want it to be fresh on our brains.
But we also want to give you a chance to see it if you want to see it before we spoil the fuck out of it.
So we're going to talk about the power of perception. I'm going to reference Taylor Swift. Just be forewarned. Next week on Trek Talk, we'll be discussing the battle, Hide and Q, Haven, and The Big Goodbye, our first 4-episode week.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! So yeah, you can like us on Facebook. Tell your friends, tell your chums,
tell your neighbors,
your comrades, your neighbors.
Get involved in a community around this show.
Build something up. Build bridges.
Don't tear them down.
Don't burn bridges. Build bridges.
That's what the Federation does, and that's what you should be doing in your life.
That's what...
Don't be like me.
That's what Napoleon did over the Rhine River.
Built or burned the bridge?
Not Napoleon.
Alexander?
Alexander, not Alexander.
Who built a bridge over the Rhine? You're the history buff.
The Greeks? Some Greek dude.
I don't know.
No, some wackadoo. A Roman dude, maybe.
Caesar?
Caesar. I think it was Caesar.
Sounds like something he would do.
Built in like 2 weeks, like 1,000-foot bridge that's like 50 or 100 feet wide.
We expect nothing less from you, our listeners.
Do the
emotional
equivalent and
or social
equivalent of that
for humanity, you guys, and you will succeed at both.
There you go. Yeah,
Well, join the Habitat for Humanity of telling people about our podcast. Don't actually join Habitat for Humanity. But also do the telling us.
Yeah, look, we're more concerned that you get us out into the world. Secondary concern, save the world, because I'm
Tell
sure
everyone in Habitat Humanity about Star Trek Into Dorkness.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. Be like, hey, like there's a podcast that we listen to. They talk about Star Trek.
They encouraged me to join Habitat for Humanity.
They got me to do this.
Changed my life.
I'm swinging this hammer because of them, because of Into Dorkness.
Thanks, Into Dorkness.
And then you hold the hammer up, and then someone's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, is no one taking a picture?
No, this isn't. The commercial's not over. I don't get to leave after this. I still have to work.
I still have to build this fucking house.
Yes.
Fuck this.
So yeah, join us next week. Facebook.com/Into Dorkness. We're on iTunes. Into Dorkness. We're going to be talking next week, obviously, about Man of Steel. In-depth talk into that.
Right.
We'll also a lot of in-depth in-dick talk.
Yeah.
Man of Steel.
Deep dick talk.
And then the week after that, we're going to be talking about Blade Runner, right?
Or did we decide to do Blade Runner?
Yeah, well, we decided to do it. We just didn't set a time.
Fuck it, let's do it.
We're going to talk about it. But next week, those 4 episodes of Trek, some Man of Steel, in-depth, dick talk.
Deep dick talk, as Becker put it.
Deep dick talk. And whatever else tickles our fancy. You know,
and our fancy is easy to tickle.
It's tickled by many things.
Yeah, it's a wide range of ticklage.
So much ticklage going on. There's some Peter Dinklage ticklage.
I was thinking about Peter Dinklage.
We got to talk. Well, you haven't seen the end of season 3, but you've read the books.
Yeah.
So can we talk about it?
Not with Becca in the room.
No.
Oh,
I can leave.
We can do it in a couple. We'll do it another time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening. If you guys like us, again, please tell people about us.
Review us on iTunes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't think we have any reviews on iTunes, so give us something.
Something wackadoo.
We love you.
All right, guys, we love you. We love you.
LLAP.
KO.
Oh, bye.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.